Hey, all my Facebook and YouTube friends, this is Scott Kilborn, better known right here on the water as Big Mouth Scott. And I've not been able to come to you on the water for a live update to tell you what's been going on the water, because actually my boat is actually in the shop, and as I like to call it, it's in the hospital. It's getting some work done, so hopefully I can get it better and get it out of the hospital so we can actually get on the water and do some live updates right here on Big Mouth Outdoors. Listen, we have actually last Thursday, me and the slinger was actually fishing over at Woods Creek, and actually got onto some fish, and within an hour and a half, I think I had somewhere around 10, and the slinger had 2 or 3 there. And listen, it's a blast. I mean, what was happening was big balls of shad would come up, and actually the shad is getting ready to start spawning, and they would come up in schools all around us, and you could throw. I was throwing a Zorro spook, and I would throw that over there and work it a couple times, and as I would work it, they would come up after it. But all up and down this whole bank of this particular holler there at Woods Creek, they would be busting shad. The shad would be all over the place. And listen, there's nothing no funner, and you know it, as fishing a top water bait. Listen, I love it. I love it when you throw it out there and it comes out there and just grabs a hold of it. I tell you, I wish I was on the water right now. And I want to give a big shout out to the slinger, and say thanks for also taking me over to a private pond of one of his friends, and it was pouring the rain, and it just let up. We got out, and I didn't have none of my equipment, so Slinger had one of his rods, and he had a spook on there also. And I said, well, let me cast it over here. So he was getting his rods out. I made one cast, and I made that one cast over by some cattails in a corner and started working that spook. One come up after it, it missed it, come up, and then it come up again, missed it. Third time come up again, I kept moving it, and then the fourth time it come out of the water and it grabbed a hold of it. And I'm telling you, I'm excited, still excited over it, because listen, I love the great outdoors. If you don't get to experience the great outdoors, find somebody that can take you out and show you about the great outdoors. I was privileged to be raised in a family that was great outdoors people, and we lived in the head of a holler over in eastern Kentucky, and in the head of that holler, all we did was we enjoyed the outdoors. I was all the time outside in the woods, down by the creek, catching minnows, catching crawdads, and I was raised around a family that loved hunting. My grandpa is one of the greatest hunters that I know of, and he's still living, and he's all the time calling me, encouraging me about hunting, wanting to know if I bought any new guns, wanting to know about this. And then my dad, he's one that got me into fishing, and then one of his great friends, Zion, there, and they took me out one day when my dad was working. Zion worked at the time with my dad, and we would go out on Zion's day off, and Zion would take the time to take me out and show me, as a young boy, show me the things about fishing. And I've enjoyed it, and I am trying to challenge people to actually get the young people, middle-aged people, older folks, matter of fact, get outdoors and enjoy the great outdoors, because there's nothing no greater and peaceful when you get outdoors, hear the birds chirping, hear the frogs hollering, hear the dogs barking, and go out and for my passion anymore, more than actually hunting, which I do a lot of squirrel hunting in the fall and the winter time, because I got my squirrel dogs that I raise mountain fast, but my passion is getting out on the water and fishing, because on the water you can actually get away from everything, and get out there, take your rod and reel, cast it, and I love to use artificial bait and bring in, as I like to call it, big mamas. Big mamas. Listen, this is Big Mouth Scott. I wanted to come to you and give you a live update from right here. Hadn't done one in a while, and say hello, and we'll be back on the water as soon as our boat gets out of the hospital. So listen, get out and enjoy the great outdoors. Enjoy this summer. Take somebody with you. Take a kid with you. Turn a kid onto the great outdoors, because there's nothing no better. Listen, this Big Mouth Scott, and I'm right here on Worldwide Media, going to make fish famous right here on Facebook, YouTube, Worldwide Media. See you next time.